My name's Daniel Linehan, and we're in the dressing room at Theater Imca, where I performed tonight.
This is not about everything. This is not about everything. This is not about everything. This is not about everything.
I mean, the little circle of books I put around myself for me represents the world somehow. Like, it's only 8 books, but I didn't want to just put an app. Basically, I need something around myself in order not to like go everywhere all over the stage to stay centered. But I didn't want to just put an abstract circle around myself. I wanted it to represent something, and for me, it represents the world. It's just different ideas, books, newspapers, just things from the world that have influenced me, and I don't know. I think in making the piece, it was very personal, like my feeling of craziness. But I think it's also a good interpretation that people have that it's not just about me, but it's about the craziness of the world too. I'm not the only one who feels crazy.
Yeah. What is happening right now? This is not about what it means for something to be about something. This is not about the question of, well, what in the fuck is this thing about then, Daniel?
I mean, in the performance, it's a lot about negating or saying no to, like, this is not about this, but this is not about this. But then, like, because I'm using language, that the act of saying it's not about these things brings these ideas into the audience's head. And so in some way, it becomes about them. And I think one of my questions, while I was making the piece, I mean, there's a slightly, like, I mentioned a few, like, political things. I mentioned a few silly things. I mentioned, like, a lot of things that the piece is not about. And somehow it's like I wanted to make a piece about all these things, and I didn't know how. So the only way I could do it was by speaking about it, and yeah. I need someone to take this for me and send it in the mail after the performance is over.
I think writing a check is a pretty limited action, and so is spinning. I only do limited actions. Somehow I want to be more bold, but there are so many questions. Why should I write a check? Why should there be action rather than inaction? The obvious question is, what should I do? But at some point I realized that the word should had a moral implication, and my gut reaction was that any moral inclination should have no place in art.
No, well, every once in a while I make a few changes. Almost all of it stays the same. Otherwise it'd be hard to remember. I mean, it took me months and months just to remember it all, so I can't change very much. But sometimes, like, some of the current events, like I mentioned, I don't know, I mentioned Iraq, Afghanistan. I mean, these somehow are less current than they were a few years ago, but they're still a little current. And then there's other things, like I used to mention, I don't know, I don't remember, but like, I mentioned, like, Haiti when there was the Haitian earthquake and it was big in the news. Like, I kind of mentioned things that are in people's consciousness, but that's like 8 or so words that I change depending on what the current news is that might be in people's consciousness. The solo that I performed tonight, there's this relationship where, because I'm exhausted from spinning, it affects the quality of my voice. But I'm interested, this is like the one relationship that happens in this piece, but in my new piece I want to kind of research that more and find several different relationships between body and voice, not just exhaustion, but like, I mean, a simple one is like shaking changes the quality of your voice, and there were the ones I said in my performance, like, I don't think they're stupid questions, but like people will ask, how did you do that without getting dizzy or something?
So they focus on the physical thing.
Yeah, which I think, I don't know, I kind of make fun of it in the performance, but I also, in reality, I think it is part of the piece. I mean, there's the ideas, and then there's the physicality, but the piece is both. Like, if people are focusing on the physical aspect of it, that's fine. But that was kind of, when I got that feedback was especially at an earlier stage in the piece. And so I asked myself, how can I make the idea stronger? I mean, I wanted to keep the physicality strong, but I wanted to make the idea stronger. So, I mean, one of the ways I did that was by talking about the fact that I wanted to make the idea stronger. And I think that through language, I helped develop the ideas.